off of your paint. Do you guys remember when we did this painting? We're going to do something along these same lines, a little bit more fun. Now, I have a background that I pre-painted, and I just took some acrylic paint and a medium-sized brush, and we just dab on all kinds of color. Any colors you want. You can see that I use blue, yellow, and green. I have another background that is just a solid color. So we just put it back on. Okay. We're just having our day. But hey. Okay, here we go. We're back on. Okay, cool. And so that's the solid color. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the line with the different colors. You can do either one. You can do the solid color. You can do a color background. We're going to take our tape. We're going to have our brushes. For my palette, you know what I like to use. I got some paper plates. It's actually a styrofoam plate. We're doing acrylic paint. I'm doing it out of bottles, but of course you can use the tubes. You always need a couple cups of clean water to wash your brushes out with. And now we're going to have some fun. Once you have your background painted, whether it's going to be a solid color or the different colors, you want to let it completely dry so you can touch it and no paint comes off on you. Now we can have a little bit of fun with this tape. So what we're going to do is we're going to make different geometric shapes onto the canvas with the tape. So we're just going to take different lengths and start putting it on our canvas. You want to make sure that you get the edges tight over that paint so the fresh paint that you put on top does not go through. Alright, so let's start with just some different angles. And when you're putting on your tape, another thing that you want is all edges to meet with another piece. And I'll show you what I'm talking about with that. That to come down. And see, that is not quite a straight line, so watch. I can just pull that right up, and we're going to re-put that on straighter. These lines you do not want to be crooked lines. You want to make them as straight as possible. That's going to make your painting look nice and crisp. So here we go. Okay. See, I'm just randomly sticking this guy on. Different ways. You don't really need scissors to cut this tape. This tape is pretty easy just to peel. Okay. There we go. See? That's not quite straight. Now, if you wanted to use a ruler, you could. I'm just going to eye it. Because really, in the end, this piece is about having fun. So, we're just having fun right now. We're just relaxing, enjoying our time to ourselves with our artwork. This is also a great, easy piece that you can do with children, or like if you have a grandmother. It's just a fun stuff to do with the family. Okay, so I'm going to put different little pieces and different parts. That doesn't go quite to the edge. There we go. Make sure all the edges are down. Okay. Make this a long piece here. And as you're putting your tape down, you can really think about your composition. And when you really think about it, we're thinking in negative space because what we are putting down will still have the background on it, and what will be that's still open that we're going to paint over will have the forefront of our new color. Okay, there we go. What do you guys think? I hope you're having fun taping it. Okay. I'm going to be right back with you guys. Give me a minute. I'm coming. All right, we're looking good. We're looking good. I hope you're having fun taping. Once you got your tape on, guess what we're going to do next? We're going to pick out our color that we want to be on the forefront. Now, guess what? If you did color in your background, you don't want that same color to be your front color. You want it to be a different color. A good idea is to look on a color wheel and choose the color that is opposite of the colors that are in your background. So, one of the opposite of yellow is purple. So I'm going to do mine into purple. I'm going to put the purple right on my little palette. And I'm going to take a big brush and dip it right in there. We really don't need to dip it into the water to thin it out. We want a nice even coat. And guess what? That feels good. We're just going to take it and paint over all this tape. Just like that. Okay? Just let it glide onto it. This is where it matters. You want to make sure that all your seams were stuck down because you don't want them to lift right now because it's not going to make good lines. Okay, here we go. Then you can just cross back and forth. Have fun. Relax. Get a nice solid coat. Okay. Even all the way through. If you wanted to do an ombre coat and start with some other colors, I would suggest that, but only if you do the solid. If you've got it like this, you just want to, if you've got the color underneath, you want a solid overcoat. If you've got a solid underneath, you want a colored overcoat. Because, you know, we just want to add more interest to our work. You could do 2 solid colors, if you really wanted to. But I think it adds a lot to it to have some other stuff. Now, if you see, as it dries, you may see some of that background peeking through. We're going to let that dry for a minute and think about another layer that I can put on top of this that won't push direct from the back. Now, what I've been using is metallic colors. I really think they're, they just add a little oomph to your work. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this metallic. I'm going to get here it is. I never really use this, a fan brush. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. But I can see some of this drying, and I want it to be more coated, so I'm going to go back over that. Again, with my brush really quick and a little bit more paint on my brush. We don't want it too thick, we want it to have an even layer. Okay, I like that, I like that. Okay. Here we go. Give your size. See what I just do. I just have too much purple. Put a little bit more on there. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna let that dry. Get some texture on there. I'm gonna take another paper plate and get this right here, this bronze, and we're going to do a little fake marbling on here. You can actually take this technique and do it on wood. It doesn't have to be on just on a canvas. First I'm going to splatter, then we're going to marble. So I'm going to take this fan brush, and we're going to need water for this one. So we take the fan brush and put it in the water and get it nice and wet. Now we're going to take the wet fan brush and dip it, just the tips, into this bronze. And if you have nice clip on, you may want to get a smock. And we're just going to take it and flick it. And that's going to add our little dots in different places. Clickety, click, click. You just want a little bit. Okay. Just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to mark it. Alright, I just want to make sure you get your edges. Don't forget your edges. So yeah, they need a little sparkle too. They don't get as much because they're not in the center of your painting yet. You don't want the painting to end at the edges. So of course your fingers are going to be covered in paint. You can just take that off with a paper towel. And we're going to take a small thin brush, very thin, and we're going to wet him. And then we're going to go into our bronze, and now we're going to do a little bit of marbling. So we're going to take our tiny brush, it's wet. We're going to put just a little bit of bronze on the tip. All right, so now we're going to come in, and we're going to put veins. And I'm talking about just, lightly drag that brush right on top of that purple. And wiggy-waggy, any way you want to go. We're veining it out, like, just think about, like, roots and, okay, so we're going to put a little bit. What I'm doing here is I'm touching the brush to my canvas and then I'm coming up. And then I'm touching the brush to my canvas and then I'm coming up. So not all the time is my brush hitting the canvas. So it's just adding tiny details here and there. And it looks small, but small things add to the whole. And sometimes you don't want something overwhelming. Sometimes we just want something with a little bit of touch of color. Okay, this almost looks like the universe. I'm loving it. Okay, so let's let that dry for a minute. And what we're going to do is start taking up our tape. You want to be careful as you're doing that. And then you can see that it reveals the painting from underneath. Who would have thought that something so simple could make something so interesting? And it's really fun to do. You can do this so many different ways. Yeah, try and be careful when you're taking it off. You don't want too many bleedy sides. Okay. Now we have something that looks like this. I'm going to go get another piece of white paper because I want you to see it without the purple. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. There's our piece now. That's pretty cool. Wasn't that simple? To create something kind of like that? And you can do it any way that you want to. And now, that we have all that, and it's pretty dry, we're going to let it dry for a sec. I'm going to take some black. Black is going to be the best top coat for if you want to do another design on here, because you don't want to take away from the background color and the foreground color. Now, if it was two solid colors, you could do a third that was a different color, but I think since these are in-depth colors, we're going to do black. Alright, so I'm going to pull some black. I'm going to get a nice medium-sized brush. And I'm gonna see which way on my canvas, what am I going to do here? Let's see. I can do something as simple as taking my black color and on some of these shapes, going in and adding a line of shadow beside them. Crisp, right up next to. This would make some really cool pop art. So wherever you start your shadows, you want to make them consistent throughout your work. So if you do the shadows on this side, you want to do the shadows on that side through the whole thing and not change where your perspective of light is. And we just want to make crisp lines coming down. Cool. Easy. Another thing you could do on the front of this if you wanted to is you could make it a gift for someone. And maybe if you knew some calligraphy, write their name really nice on the front. That was always cool. Or just a message to them, or one word. Peace, love, all those things it'll make for a really good, interesting, fun painting. So the lower that we go with our shapes, we're going to put some shadows on top because as it would be going down, you will see that. So we're going to get everybody on the same side. These guys are lower, so they get a shadow on the top. And then as we go higher, you wouldn't see that shadow. So you see that? Sometimes I practice before I actually put my brush down onto the canvas, I practice my line. And that doesn't always help, but it actually gets your hand ready because it knows that you don't want to stop mid-line when you want a crisp line. You got to keep going. When you break the line, it's when sometimes it doesn't look good for us. Okay, so then on the opposite side, let's do a yellow to add a highlight. And we're going to do that with a way smaller brush because we want the highlight to be small, but just barely there. And actually what I think I'm going to do is add a little bit of white to this yellow so we can get it just the palest yellow. I don't want it white. I want it to be a very pale yellow. And I'm going to go in there and get me a nice thin brush, very thin. The thinnest I got right now, and go in here, wet my brush, and we're going to take a little bit of that yellow and put it right inside the light. and mix that into a very pale yellow. And I'm going to come and do some highlights. Since we did the shadow on this side, we're doing the highlights on this side. And again, highlights won't be everywhere, but see how we have these bricks up at the top that don't have any shadow on them? Let's add something to them and put a highlight on the other side. Okay. That looks pretty serene, like a little dream world. And then over here. And now I'm going to come down and do our bottom. As you know, you can always look on our website, www.claytonpl.org, and look at all of our online resources that we have. And we also have so many other programs on our YouTube channel that we would love for you guys to join us in. I'm just put in a couple more highlights. Okay, cool. So, now that I'm looking at it, what we could do is add another layer of shadow. Let's make it green with this blue and yellow. Okay. And for one last little thing to add some oomph to our painting, we're going to take this blue, mix it with the yellow, a little yellow now, and get a nice green going. See that green. Once we got our green, I'm going to tap in just a bit of black right into that green. It's going to mute it down, and we'll get a nice muted green. There we go. Okay. Once I get the color I'm looking for, which is about, yeah, that army kind of green. I don't, you know, they have it in a lot of that camouflage stuff. There we go. I'm going to get a little bit, yes, I like that. A little darker. Okay. This is going to be our shadow 4. Okay, so this is in the center. So let's add some background shadow around here, here, and here. Okay? Get a little conversation. You know, I think I'm going to put a pop of purple in here too. Ooh, yes, that's what it needed. We needed that little purple. Don't feel scared to play around when you're mixing with your colors. You never know. Let's see, how does that read on here? Okay, you can see it looks a little gray on what you see. And we're not going to go all the way to the end of our shape. We're going to come in about a half an inch either way for our back. This is the very back shadow that it's casting down, like these things are hovering over our backgrounds. Okay, remember, don't go all the way to the end. Okay. That one, I think we need it here, and this one. All of them don't need it. This one we're going to pull all the way to the end, because see, he flows off of the canvas, and then start it an inch or half an inch back, just like that. And what do you think? This one, I think so. But it's floating off the canvas. We'll do the opposite side of this guy. And maybe this one. Okay. I kind of like that. What do you guys think? See, it should be where, ooh, look at that. At any angle that you do, it looks like it's hovering. I like that. So that's cool, huh? I'm going to do this one. Sometimes when you move around the canvas, you see different aspects that you didn't see. So don't be afraid to turn it upside down, sideways, and then paint it. Believe you me, a lot of artists, very famous artists, do that to keep their perspective. And put one here. Keep your line straight and pressed. I think this will be my last one. Now, all that's left to do is wash my brush out. And I'm going to put some lilac a little bit later on here. I'm going to get a very thin brush. And I'm going to make my paint pretty inky. There we go. And I'm going to put a little sign on work, and I went to data. And that's it. I hope you guys had fun. I sure did enjoy it. We will be here 2 weeks from today to do another painting. Have fun, stay healthy, and stay safe. See you soon. Bye-bye.